Hello students, I am Vipul Mittal, and in this session I will discuss risk assessment procedures and control environment. So you are the auditor and you are auditing the financial statements. And you perform risk assessment procedures to obtain an understanding of the entity and its environment, including its internal control. And this includes obtaining an understanding of the control environment relevant to the preparation of the financial statements. So the auditor should perform risk assessment procedures to obtain an understanding of the control environment relevant to the preparation of the financial statements. This is specified in section 315. So here I'm discussing the requirement as stated in section 315 of the auditing standards. So section 315 requires you to perform risk assessment procedures to obtain an understanding of the control environment relevant to the preparation of the financial statements. When I say control environment, I mean governance and management functions, attitude, awareness, actions of those charged with governance and management. So section 315 requires you to obtain an understanding of the control environment that is relevant to the preparation of the financial statements. So you have to obtain understanding regarding various things concerning governance, management, their functions, attitudes, awareness. We can classify this into 5 categories. So you have to obtain understanding regarding entity's culture, commitment to integrity and ethical values. So you are the auditor and you have to obtain an understanding of the entity's culture, commitment to integrity, ethical values as part of obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including its internal control. So you obtain understanding that what management and those charged with governance are doing for creating and maintaining ethical values. What are the ethical behavior, standards, code of conduct, how they are communicated, how they are reinforced. So you obtain all that understanding. And this is needed so that you may do proper risk assessment. You have to assess the risk of material misstatement, both at the financial statement level and at the relevant assertion level. So what do? You perform risk assessment procedures to obtain an understanding of the entity and its environment, including its internal control. And in the process of obtaining that understanding, you assess risk. Now, this process of obtaining an understanding of the entity, its environment, its internal control, includes obtaining an understanding of the control environment. You obtain an understanding of the independence of those charged with governance, how independent they are from management, whether there are sufficient individuals who are independent from management. Again, you have to obtain an understanding of the control environment, and this includes all this. You obtain an understanding of entities' authority and responsibility assignment. How the entity assigns authority and responsibility. What are the key areas of authority and responsibility? You obtain understanding how the entity attracts, competent individuals, how the entity develops competent individuals, how the entity retains competent individuals. So here actually I'm talking about that you have to obtain an understanding that how the entity ensures that individuals have knowledge and skill that is necessary. How the entity ensures that individuals have the necessary knowledge and skill so that they may carry out their task. How the entity does that? You have to obtain that understanding. You are the auditor. You have to obtain this understanding that how actually entity ensures that individuals have necessary skills and knowledge. So you obtain an understanding of the recruiting standards. That okay, let me understand how the entity recruits. So let me understand the recruiting standards. What are the educational requirement under those standards? What is the experience requirement, integrity requirement? What are the requirements for recruitment? What is the training policy? You understand how periodic performance appraisal is done, whether more committed and qualified personnel are promoted to higher levels, whether they get due reward for their work, for their performance, how periodic performance appraisal is done. You obtain that understanding. You obtain understanding of the recruiting standards, training policies, performance appraisals. And this all you do to obtain understanding of the control environment. And this is needed. You understand how the entity holds individuals accountable for their responsibilities. So individuals have certain authorities and responsibilities. Now, what about accountability? How they are accountable? You have to understand that. How the organization holds individuals accountable. So, how the organization holds individuals accountable for their performance. What is the mechanism entity follows regarding this? Are there any performance measures, incentives? What are the rewards? You obtain understanding of all this. And this is needed that you may obtain understanding of the control environment. And this understanding regarding control environment is needed because you have to obtain understanding of the entity, its environment, its internal control. The understanding regarding entity, its environment, its internal control is needed that you may do the risk assessment properly, that you may assess the risk of material misstatement both at the financial statement level and at the relevant assertion level properly. All right, students. I hope this session was helpful. We'll connect again. Goodbye.